Here's some more real estate terms that confuse the crap out of people. I'm Janice Benstock and welcome back to my channel. Let's get started on your path to beating the real estate exam by explaining the different types of leases. There are 4 types of leases, and leases are called leasehold estates because, yeah, you get a lease, and because this type of tenancy is described by the length of possession. So we have 4 different types of leases, and you'll notice that they all have different types of lengths of possession. However, in a leasehold estate, unlike a freehold estate, we know the time period. If you remember, freehold estates are an indeterminable length of time, like lifetime or forever, whereas leasehold estates, we know how long it is. So let's break it down in the 4 types of leases. Estate for years is really confusing because people think that an estate for years means it's a year lease. And it can be a year lease, but the key to an estate for years lies in the fact that it has an exact, definite termination date. Meaning it's not rolling over, it's not floating in the wind. We know when it starts, we know when it ends. An estate for years could be a year, but it could be any period as long as it has a start date and an end date. So it could be a 6-month lease, it could be a 427-day lease. It doesn't matter. Start and end date means it's an estate for years. Periodic estate or periodic tenancy or period to period is what we think of when we think of month to month. However, period to period could be week to week, could be year to year, could be 2 weeks to 2 weeks. The point of a periodic estate is that it continues on period to period until someone says stop. So a typical way that we might see this is a month-to-month lease where we say it's going to be every single month until someone gives 30 days notice. Month to month is a form of periodic estate, but periodic estate does not mean the period has to be a month. Tenancy at will, think about it like this. You can stay there at my will until something happens. So for example, I'm a landlord and you rent my house and I decide I'm going to sell it. So I give you notice that I'm not going to renew your lease at the end of the month, and you beg me to stay because I'm the most amazing landlord and you love the house. And so you offer to me, well, how about if I stay until you sell it? And I'm like, that could work. That's a tenancy at will. Until an event happens, you can stay. The thing about a tenancy at will is that it's really hard to enforce because they're not in writing, and it terminates upon either party's death, unlike other forms of tenancy. Tenancy at will, just think, you can stay at my will. I will let you stay until I sell the house. Tenancy at sufferance is when the landlord is suffering because that tenant won't leave. When the tenant's lease ends and they refuse to leave, they're called a holdover tenant, and that creates a tenancy at sufferance. And I always feel like, why won't they just get out? I want my house back, and now I have to go through eviction and I have to go through all of the legal process, and they just won't leave. I'm suffering. It's a tenancy at sufferance. So it's really simple. There are 4 types of leases. Tenancy for years, which means it has a start date and an end date. Periodic tenancy, which means it rolls over period to period, usually a month, but it could be any period. Tenancy at will, I will let you stay until something happens, like I sell the house. Tenancy at sufferance, that tenant won't leave and I'm suffering because I want my damn house back. Different types of leases is one of those topics that you have to understand but also need to memorize. So this video should have explained it to you, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Your next step is to go through the flashcards and study them until you remember them. If you need more help, we have a study pack available. It includes electronic flashcards, audio recordings, video recordings, and we're always adding to it. Grab it in the link below. And make sure to join me for the next video because I'm going to keep with you until you pass the real estate exam. I promise you can do it.